name is Baljeet. Welcome to my channel. Behind me is my 1971 Cadillac Coupe Deville, which has been sitting in somebody's backyard for 15 years. And today we're gonna try to see if I can get this car started for the first time. So let's go. So the first thing that we're gonna do is I noticed and I put the key and I tried to crank it over that it didn't I didn't hear anything. So it does have a good battery. I tested it, I took it out. It has a full charge, so I know the battery is good. So I think the next thing to do is to check the starter. I think the starters are fairly cheap, so if I'm gonna take off the starter, I'm just going to replace the starter. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take off the starter, run to the auto parts store and get a new starter and replace it, and see if this car cranks over with the new starter. In the meanwhile, what I have done is I have taken all the spark plugs out and I have sprayed WD-40. I believe it was WD-40 or PB Blast, one of those, I don't remember, because I have both and I could have ran out. And I sprayed it down in each of the cylinders and let it soak or fog or whatever you want to call it. So when we get to crank it over for the first time, it has some kind of lubrications and also breaks down if there is going to be any rust in the cylinders. I did not see anything on the plugs, but just extra insurance. Something that I do if I'm starting an engine that has been sitting around for a while is I spray WD-40 or some kind of a lubricant inside the cylinders and just crank it over a few times with the plugs out, and so that way the cylinders get lubricated and ready for its first start. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run down and change the starter and we'll go from there. So I got the new starter on. It was pretty easy, honestly. Not that hard. It's just the starter is super heavy. If you were attempting this and you're not that strong, just be aware of that. That starter weighs, I'm not sure, like at least 40-50 pounds, something like that. And I snaked it through right here in front of this what is this, the steering bar thing, steering column thing, and it was fine. So now I'm just working out the wiring. One of the things I didn't do was I forgot to take a picture of how the wiring was on the old one. I kind of took a mental picture thinking like I'll be okay, but I guess I'm questioning myself now. There's some wires that showed up after I took the starter out. Let me show you which ones. So there are, so there, see the wires that I connected it on top of the positive cable. So the wire that I connected on top of the positive cable, I am not sure if it goes there or not. So for now, I'm gonna leave it off and put it as a ground and see what happens. From everybody that I talked to, all the bunch of videos that I watched, nobody was mentioning these wires that need to be connected here. And so I'm just gonna leave them off for now. And if the car doesn't start, or I have no power inside, then I know that that's three cables, like the green and the black and whatever, that are connected on top of the positive that's coming from the battery. Then I'll know that does need to be connected to the positive. So that's my game plan. Let's see what happens. I mean, this is not these cars are supposed to be very simple to work on. It just that was my thing. I wasn't paying attention, I guess, or I think I did, I guess, I don't know. We'll just see. So I just wanted to show you guys what's going on under here and what it looks like. It was just two bolts. There was two bolts down here that holds the starter up, and then there's a bracket up here There's this blue bracket right here that also holds it in place, and you just gotta fight to get those on. And then once you have it on, then it's just like, then you can work on your wiring. Anyways, let me get to this and then we'll see what happens. So as you saw, I got the starter replaced, and so now what I'll do is I will start the car with the plugs out. And I do have, like I mentioned, I have WD-40 and some lubricant sprayed down the cylinders where the plugs are out. So I'm going to crank it over so they can flush it out, whatever lubricants is in there, and lubricate the cylinder walls, as well as knock off if there's any rust or anything on the cylinder walls. So that's what I'm going to do. And then after that, we'll put the plugs back in and everything, and then we'll give it a go. All right. So here are some of the things that I have done so far to get this car ready for the first start. Is I checked for spark using a spark tester, and when I did that, I wasn't getting spark. Then I tested it here to see if the coil was getting spark, and I noticed the coil was not getting spark, and then this wire to this little condenser was broken or wasn't connected correctly. So I replaced the coil with a brand new coil and a new condenser, all new wires. I didn't replace the plugs because I'm gonna run the plugs for a little bit, change the oil, and then do all of that. And then when I'm ready to, like, put fresh oil, then I'll put new plugs in there. I got a new cap, new rotor. What else did I do? That's pretty much it. And there was like a fuel line that was cracked. That was somebody had cut the hard line that goes into the carburetor. Somebody had cut that and put a little rubber line, so I had to there's some cracks from just old fuel line. So I have done that, and that's the stuff that I have done. Then what I have done is I tested to see how much voltage I'm getting right here, and I was getting about I think like 4 or 5 volts, which is I think good enough. I think I'm supposed to get like 6 or something like that. I also what do you call it, I watched some videos from Caddy Daddy, and I learned how to adjust the points. So I used like a couple of pieces of paper, and then to set the points on the distributor. So that's all I have done. I just wanted to go through and show you guys what I have done. Let me show you the parts up close, and then we'll see if this thing starts. I've been doing some diagnosing off the camera because I just wanted to get this car started, and with my clips not running, I just felt like I need to get it running before or get some so I have been doing some things offline without recording to speed up the process. So I got a basically new ignition system other than the ignition switch. I got a new distributor. I got a new cap, new wires, new rotor, new ignition coil, a new condenser on the ignition coil. And I put the car on top dead center on this one. The number one is on that side. I know usually most Chevys or small blocks, the number one cylinder is on this side, but I downloaded the firing order and I put it on top dead center, and then I set it. And I've been putting gas in this hole right here. This is the overflow or the vent or whatever. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pour some starter fluid and some gas in there, and then see what happens. Maybe we'll get something. Maybe it'll just start right up and start puttering or whatever, but who knows. So here we go. So we'll put some gas in here. starter fluid. Oh, sorry. Let's see what happens. So we're getting something. It's wanting to start. So we're heading in the good direction. So for now on, from here, I just have to tweak some stuff, maybe spray some more starter fluid in there, and see what happens. Rag's ready to put out the fire. There's a fire. So as you guys saw, the car pretty much started and wanted to idle. It feels like it's not getting fuel. I did put about 5 or 6 gallons of fresh 91 high octane fuel in the tank, and I checked the tank. There was no gas in there. There was some like white sediment in there, but I was like, all right, I'm just gonna throw some fuel in. These old engines are bulletproof. They're workhorses. They run forever. You can throw all kinds of stuff at them. But anyways, so next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up like a fuel tank, like and get a little pump that I can run off of my battery, and then give it fuel that way, because if I feel like it's not getting fuel somewhere, and then we'll just go from there. But I'm really excited, so let's keep on going and get this car running. I mean, it's already running. All right, so as you saw, the car started and even idle on its own. I didn't even have to add any more fuel to it. So I'm really excited that the car started and idled. It is making some horrible noises. I don't know where they're coming from. That's like the next thing I'm gonna like keep playing, keep starting it. I'm gonna check the oil, maybe do an oil change on it now that it's running, or maybe running for a little bit. I feel like the oil is fairly new on it. Somebody did an oil change on it. But anyways, I'm really excited that this car run, and as you guys saw, it idled as well. So here you go. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and look forward to the next video where we'll hopefully take this run a little longer, and get it roadworthy, check the brakes, make sure they're working, and go from there. Until next time, you guys have a fantastic day.